The 1907 Kamloops, British Columbia, Tranquille Sanatorium treated TB, often known as the White Plague. Before the British Columbian government bought the site for the hospital, it was used for ranching. At the height of the pandemic, the King Edward VII Sanatorium treated TB patients. The British Columbia Society for the Prevention and Treatment of Consumption and Other Forms of Tuberculosis initially met in January 1904 to plan and fundraise for an isolated sanatorium. They found a land for sale and raised $58,000 to buy 600 acres from William Fortune's family. In addition, they leased 2,000 acres from the Dominion government, creating Tranquille Sanatorium. Our New York ghost tour takes you to the most haunted sites in the state in a hop, skip, and leap. The hospital began in November 1907 and had 12 attendants and 4 nurses by 1910, accommodating 49 patients. Sanatorium beds reached 360. About half of Tranquille's guests paid. Patients spend $55 a month and stay 200 days on average. The institution used to forbid patients from opening tossed mail and force them to labor without pay as therapeutic. Patients could not receive food, money, clothes, or other gifts from visitors. Tranquille, a tiny town near the hospital, developed during the 1900s TB pandemic. This little town contained homes, gardens, a gym, a farm, a fire station, and more. The Kirkbride architecture, inspired by 19th-century physician Dr. Thomas Story Kirkbride, was used in sanatoriums with batwing floor plans and extensive gardens. For decades, Kirkbride asylums like Ohio's Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum featured animals, gardens, and agricultural fields. It had an orchard, dairy, steam heat plant, and carriage business. The farm's daily work was mostly done by hospital patients. The Kirkbride plan saw skilled labor as rehabilitation and economic benefit to the state. In 1959, Tranquille Sanatorium reopened to treat mental illness after closing in 1958. After closing completely in 1983, it temporarily housed juvenile offenders into the 1990s. In September 1991, A&A Foods owner Giovanni Camporese acquired the site to build a resort and dubbed it Padova City after his country. The property was planned for destruction, but the government and Camporese's 1997 court challenge thwarted his ambitions. The abandoned sanatorium is now Tranquille Farm Fresh, rich farmland. The ancient sanatorium offers escape rooms and history excursions. The property has hosted films including The A-Team and Firewall. Tranquille attracts tourists from over the globe, particularly those interested in its haunts. On Canada's most haunted list, Tranquille Sanatorium has seen its share of tragedy and horror. Tuberculosis killed many at Tranquille. Tunnels beneath the property were used to convey dry supplies to the hospital and remains to the cemetery. This was supposed to be healthier for the mental health of the struggling patients, since they shouldn't witness bodies leaving the facility regularly. Today's sanatorium visitors come for a touristy thrill, but get much more. Some visitors have reported seeing apparitions and orbs flying over the huge hospital's grounds and halls, as well as disembodied moans and groans, not part of the history tour. The Ohio-Athens Lunatic Asylum hauntings resemble Tranquille's. Many people died in and around the institution, but few stood out. One describes Margaret Schilling, a patient who vanished on December 1, 1978. She was found dead in a neglected ward in January the following year. The autopsy proved she died of heart failure, yet she was discovered identified and her clothes folded. The persistent floor stain her corpse left behind, unaffected by cleanings, is more intriguing. Her ghost has been observed peering down from the window of the room where her corpse was discovered, trying escape, and wandering the premises at night. Other ex-patients are believed to have remained, appearing as full-bodied apparitions in the hospital's vacant wings, screaming. Squeaking gurneys, odd lights, and cries are common.